The Futures Fanatic live stream for the afternoon of Thursday, post-Fed Fund Day. It's Thursday, September 18th, 2025. Apologize for the slight tardy start. I was having all kinds of issues, but we got it going. And this won't be great for my editors. They're not going to like this stream, so they probably can't pull anything out of it, so I can say a bunch of dumb shit. Because my face is now not taking up much of the screen at all, so you'll be able to see a lot more of the screen. I think it'll make for a better stream. If I can get a one-on chat over on the stream as soon as it's broadcasting and you can let me know about picture and sound, that would be great. I don't anticipate we're going to have a lot of people here because I didn't send an email out about it, so it'll be a small, intimate group. And I did want to remind everybody this presentation is for educational purposes only, and that the opinions expressed are those of the presenter. That's going to be me the whole time. All trades presented should be considered hypothetical and should not be expected to be replicated in a live trading account. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, everybody. Okay, let's go ahead and close this. All right, my purpose is I am short a little bit of NASI, not in this lead account that I want to show. I'll switch over to some of the accounts where it is in just a moment, like here and here. So let me just take these off.
Order filled.
Been trading this break since we broke a little bit. The fever broke slightly.
Order filled.
So that's made for some nice price action here as it's been in this chop channel a little bit. Now remember, in the trade room, and what I'm going to teach on most of the time is we're going to stick on the Dow. But today, with so much opportunity and so much range in the NASDAQ, I will cheat on you a little bit, and we'll get some stuff going on in the NASI here. Okay, so that's what we got going on there. As you saw from the topic, I'm going to talk again about small wins can add up to big gains eventually. You do not need to use a copier across all kinds of firms and all kinds of things to start. I personally have quite a few things connected, as most of you know. I will often have a lot of things connected over here. So let me just make sure that's on the screen. Yeah, there you go. And as you can also see, it cuts both ways. I have a few accounts that are red here. I'm working on those. And then at the end of the session, what I'm going to do, I just put 5,000 as a guess. I don't know if it'll be 5,000. I get way more views when I put a number on my thumbnail, so I apologize for that. But this number is a realistic number. It's not being overstated. It's what is very possible by having $250 to $400 risk budgets across a lot of accounts, producing risk-adjusted returns, trading micros in prop accounts using copiers. You can get to these large days in a risk-adjusted manner using this methodology, as opposed to putting on a 4-lot or a 6-lot and YOLOing in single accounts and doing it that way. So there we go. All right, so that's the positions here. I'm going to switch back to this account because this is the lead account. I'll get into some more if we get up there to 24,800 and 24,841s. Be interesting to see how we're going to close today. We've got about 40 minutes left in the trading session. Lots of extended. Oh, I'm also cheating. Friends do not let friends trade the Russell unless it's up this much. So I am short the Russell here, and I'll do one more at the +2s. And this is across all accounts. So they're doing some serious buying here. I don't know if this is all-time highs in the Russell. Do you guys know? It could be. I mean, it seems like everything's joining the party. So short the Russell there. I'll stay on that screen so you can check that out. And then up here real quick, nice day in just a couple trades across all of my prop shop accounts. And then over here, green in most accounts and just flat in that account. So this is the idea of adding this all together, right? Prop shop, bull and ox, Apex, take profit. You get the idea, right? But we're not over leveraging ourselves or doing anything too crazy in any one given account. All right, I already see a question here. I have 100K from prop firm. What would be the proper size, risk size? So the proper thing to do is to download my ebook. You can find it in the link down below. It's completely free. Read that ebook. It'll answer all your questions about sizing. Your sizing is dependent on your daily risk budget. In $100,000 accounts, that's usually a $3,000 account balance. Shouldn't be risking more than $300. If you're risking only $300 on a daily basis, you're going to be limited to the instruments you should trade. It shouldn't be anything other than the Dow and the MES when you're first starting out, and then you can back into exactly how much you want to size there. Okay, Purdue Capital Directive Funding is the way to go if you know what you're doing. Okay, Burrell Investors Investments. All right. Little shout out for Purdue. There are plenty of direct funding accounts that you can get out there. The key being, if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing is a process, and you don't know what you're doing unless I'm going to start to have a metric of, I don't know. I think it should be at least 10,000. Like until you have withdrawn $10,000 from prop accounts. Now, the way you can get there, there's plenty of ways to get there, right? You can just blow and go and do huge size and trade in 2 different directions and get lucky and oversize and do all that stuff. But if you did it anything close to what I'm talking about, it'd probably take you about 4 to 6 months to meet that first milestone of about $10,000 in withdrawals. We have dozens of members now that are taking $5,000 to $10,000 out per month with fewer than 10 accounts across a variety of different firms, and some of them are doing it just at a single firm. So use that. That's how I say you know what you're doing, because knowing what you're doing means understanding how to trade these accounts properly, the size, the strategies that are appropriate for small account trading, which is all this is. This is a simple game, folks. You take $2,500 to $3,000 of simulated capital. You do not cut into it. You do not use the entire account balance as your risk. Okay, use a small amount of that risk on a daily basis so that you're actually building a skill that can do something like this for you. Okay, this is what I was showing in the room today. All right, in addition to literally almost 100 accounts now that are qualified for funding across 15 different firms, I now have some from brand new firms, Ola Prime and all this stuff. Wait till I get to all these new firms. You're like, we don't even need any new firms. But this Russell is right on in this account. I only trade 1 to 2 contracts in each of these accounts. And this account's up $264. It's approaching $10,000 again. And this is something that is realistic, a realistic skill that you can build that's very similar to how these prop programs work. Okay? Same thing over here on, here's Ninja. So, you can't see, I'm flat. So Ninja up $134 on Ninja. All right. No different than exactly what I'm doing in the prop programs. No different at all. All right. Suck it, NASDAQ. Let's see if the NASDAQ can get down there. All right. So that was an answer of that question. Somebody asked maybe what the M2K is. Yes, it's the micro NASDAQ. It's the micro Russell. All right. ETF has a special. There you go, Burrell. That's awesome. That's close to, took you about a year to get there. I found this, I don't know how I missed this guy, even though I was told to speak with him and something fell through or whatever. So he is the CEO of Funding Traders and lives in Miami. And let me drop this in here. You guys got to watch this. You got to watch this when you have time. Don't click off of my stream, but you got to watch this when you have time. I love it. Guy from New York. The amount of F-bombs per minute that he drops is just classic. So you gotta check that out. It is just hilarious. But essentially, he in his own way, he talks about what I talk about. He throws around, I think, very unrealistic profit objectives and ultimate goals, to be some rich dick eventually if you put in the time. I mean, you've heard that story before, right? Put in the time now and you can do. And he calls himself old at 40. I'm like, damn, if you're old at 40, I'm double nickel. So anyhow, you might want to check that out. I thought it was hilarious. I'm like, how in the world did I miss this guy's content for this long? All right, so Nihal, is that how you pronounce your name? Thank you for those questions. I don't answer a lot of them in here in the stream unless I get into some sort of tangent. I'm here streaming predominantly, without a doubt, to promote my trade room, because my trade room is where you will learn how to do this properly, okay? I don't come in here and trade to these levels in front of you each day because there's not as much opportunity. Let's take a look at what's going on with our Russell trade, though, baby. Do we want to lock in $15? I don't know. I tell you what, I don't want to have a loser there.
Order
so
canceled.
Fading this thing is treacherous, right? When it's ripping. So we've guaranteed ourselves maybe a $10 win, but that's $10 across all of these accounts. See that?
Order filled.
All right, got hit target on a few other things. All right, let me just make sure the stream has got the right screen on it. Yeah, it does. So what I was saying is I don't want to dodge your question about am I using VWAP or what are the strategies. It's difficult to come in here and teach these strategies, although I could teach them very quickly. The best thing to do is to download my ebook. It's completely free. Get the Futures Fanatic course. It's completely free. Come check out the trade room for a couple weeks. During that time, even if you can't be in there, you're going to get 10 days of recordings of everything that happened in there. And each and every day, I'm trading the strategies. And when you come into the trade room, you'll also get access to all these other videos and additional training and point you towards the right place so you can figure all this out, right? I don't gatekeep any of the strategies. I'm not actually even charging from the strategies. I'm charging for my time. I'm in the trade room every day, so it's a one-to-many mentorship. All right, there you go. Now here's an interesting one. Do you reach the renewal fee on your account? Of course. If you're trading a larger one. Look, this is not the game for the broke. I know a lot of people are attracted to this, and I understand in many parts of the world, the economics are such that, average incomes and stuff are much different than they are here in the US. But overall, I would not approach any of these programs if you are concerned about a renewal fee of $30 or $40 or $50 or something like that, and you're trying to force the evaluation to pass it really quick. Okay? It is nice once you pass, of course, you can either pay a one-time activation fee, or if you have the skill set, you can buy something from like PropShop or others that include the activation fee. That you generally want to try to pass within a month. I would say it's highly unlikely doing things properly that you would pass a $50,000 account in a month, 22 trading sessions. It'd probably take you a little longer. So figure out what your budget is for that, buy the appropriate amount of accounts, and then do things properly. Okay? Because even digging yourself a hole and then going, oh, well, fuck it, I'm already so far down, I'm just going to blow it up because it resets and it starts me back at 50,000. That is literally like playing baseball with 4 strikes in the minors, and then you get up to the majors and you're like, why do I suck here? I was batting 400 in the minors when I had 4 strikes. And now I'm in the majors when I only get 3 strikes and I seem to not be having success. You will not have success in your funded accounts and will not get to consistent payouts if you skip over the process that's important to get to that stage. Can I get a 1 in the chat if that makes sense? I want more interactive here in the room. I know some of you are not in my room and have no idea even what I'm talking about. But for those that are members that are catching my stream, we need to, or you can say Y for yes or 1 for yes. Okay, this is super important. There is no skipping over this. Okay? There's no skipping over this. By the way, we want to move our buy stop down a little bit. Here we go. Okay? Okay.
Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled. Order filled.
All right, we'll keep it in these accounts
Order
here.
filled.
All right, good. Thank you for the interaction. Really important, because the other benefit of this, okay? The other benefit of this is, and this I'm just meaning the entire framework that I'm talking about, is that if you have the discipline and the patience, and of course the budget, if you don't have the budget, don't even participate in these programs. And I know this sucks to say these things, and look, everyone can do it in a slightly different way. You don't have to have the budget to join my trade room or to pay for anything out there. You really don't. I don't sell courses. I don't sell indicators. I don't sell bots. I don't sell hopes. I don't sell dreams, right? I just sell one thing, the unwavering faith that this is possible. And that's why the trade room is key, because you'll see it every day that it's possible. And your path is going to be different. No one can follow along with everything that I'm doing. That's not the whole point. I made a concerted effort recently to stay on the Dow Jones a little bit longer. I haven't done it necessarily today and this afternoon, but this morning I was on it quite a bit, and we had some fantastic longs off the bid zone. Remember? Everyone in the trade room? How in the world you didn't crush the Dow Jones today, I have no idea. I crushed the Dow Jones today, even shorting in 2 accounts at VWAP on the first type of VWAP, and we went all the way up to and I'm resting an order right now to sell the plus ones, which would be 46603s. 46603s. Now we collectively need to say, suck it, Russell, right? Suck it, Russell. Is there any discretion that you use? I would say that unless you've coded up, the question is there any discretion that you use to which to take a trade? Unless you've coded up and you're just sitting there watching an algorithm or a scripted strategy take every trade, then everything is discretion. I used to say we are rules-based discretionary traders, but rules are a stupid thing to think of. My rules, put your sticky notes up there. No. You're developing situational fluency so that you can make dynamic decisions, which is how the market really works. Take advantage of the fact that you're human. But if you wanted to have no discretion, and once you learned my trading strategies, it wouldn't be very difficult. You could probably even use AI to make sure that your entries are always done programmatically. In other words, you program that you get short, or the system gets you short right here on this first touch. That's an unprofitable trade for a while, right? Comes back to break even. And then now it would get you short right up here. Targets can be here. Targets can be a swing that have certain parameters to it. Targets could be down here at VWAP. Okay. But again, I welcome the questions in here, but I'm going to say again and again and again and again, I'm here to get you on my list. No bullshit about it. Get my ebook, get on my list so I can communicate with you. Because you will be able to, I was just talking about, hey, if you can't quite afford $300 or $400 eventually to get 3 or 4 accounts, with activation fees and everything, this might not be for you. You need that budget to learn and potentially get into one of the best part-time gigs you could ever get into. If you watch that video that I dropped in there from that guy, Sean, or what's his name? I don't even remember. I didn't catch his name, but I think his name is Stan. Sorry, his name is Stan. You got to check that out. Because he's saying 2 to 3 years. Put in the time, 2 to 3 years, and then you're going to be richer than you ever could imagine. That's not the message I would give you. I would say that if you put in a solid 6 months, and especially you can accelerate it if you join my community, within about 6 months, you will be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, stitching this all together with these programs, and you will be able to complement and supplement your income. I don't know if that means $500 or $50,000, but everything along that spectrum is reasonable, is realistic. Okay? Watching or learning from anyone who's trading 2 minis, 4 minis, 6 minis, with the Corgi fart method,
order filled,
or ICT, or literally anything else that's taught out there. All right, we're going to scroll this down a little bit more, locking in even more gains. So now that I'm essentially flat, a lot of, let me see, and make sure I'm flat. Okay, I'm just gonna, I got some Bitcoin up here. So let me show you the Bitcoin. All right, can you see the Bitcoin? I'm just gonna take off the Bitcoin there.
Filled.
And let me see how many accounts I'm in Bitcoin in. Short Bitcoin, just this one and this one. Here we go. So I'm gonna close out. I'm going to put a buy stop in here. Maybe we get a bit of a runner. And I'm going to just cover this right here.
Filled.
Let me see. There we go. All right. And let's come back to our Russell short? Anyone short the Russell here with me? Friends don't let friends trade the Russell. In your system, can I integrate what I've already learned? No. I'm going to not joke about this. No. I'm here to reprogram. I really am. I will die on this hill. Everything that you have learned before is not suitable for if you're trading your own couple $100,000 account and you're a self-directed investor and you've learned a little bit about how to look at volatility and volume and you understand how to measure an ATR of a candle that you're trading on and you have that kind of skill set, I'm all for it. If you learn something that has to do with volatility and volume or how to interpret a volume profile and that's what you've learned, awesome. If you've learned anything else, no, throw that shit all away. If it's trend lines, if it's moving average crossing, if it's Fibonacci levels, if it's an opening range breakout strategy, throw all that shit away. Okay? If you want to capitalize from the opportunity that's available right now, which is not even dozens anymore, but multiple dozens, 30, 40, 50 firms now in the futures markets, 40 of them that support Trade-Evate and NinjaTrader. And that, to me, I don't even have to do an analysis anymore. If a firm supports NinjaTrader or Trade-Evate and TradingView, that means they already have a bunch of money, a bunch of technical integration, and have passed a pretty decent test. And I'll get more into that in some future videos. So like the guys from Ola Prime contacted me. I'm like, oh, Jesus, another FX firm that has gotten into futures. Although some of them have done it really right. But I go and look, I'm like, well, they're paying big ass dollars to NinjaTrader and to Trade-Evate, and it's no sweat to me to promote them, which I will be doing next week, because I could just sign up for 3 Trade-Evate accounts. I can just connect them to my NinjaTrader, add them to the copy group, and it's no sweat. And then I just have, within 3 months, I have another form of cash flow. So back to my point, you have got to learn to do this part right. This part correctly. And this part is learning how to take a small amount of money, double it every 20 to 40 trading sessions. So taking 2,500 to 5,000, silly money, and then withdraw that 2,500 and then start the whole thing again. I am giving you the magic formula for this. There is no other formula. All right, we're scrolling down here a little bit. I'm going to take this live right here.
Order filled.
Okay, $164. And let me show you this right here. Okay. Real live Ninja account with $5,000 in it. I had a huge week here from 4 up to 5,600. Okay, $164. I'm digging this stuff that you see. They brought back this concept of earn 5% a day, earn 1% a day. I just started trading with Ninja again reluctantly. I'm not a big fan of Ninja brokers. Some of you guys know that, but I really couldn't not have them in the replication group. It just didn't make any sense. So there's that. I'm just going to stay on this screen because this is the real world. As I said in my trade room this morning, if you're the type of person that's going to deposit $5,000 of your own money and take advantage of day trader margin and trade in all different directions, or excuse me, have not in all different directions, just have volatility in your P&L, which you are going to have if you trade a mini in a small account. This account is 2 times the size of the starting balance of any of your prop accounts. And there are plenty of people out there teaching that the real world and your real money is not the same as prop, and you should do prop differently, and you should think of it differently, and you should there's a different way to play the game. That shit is all toxic. Play this game this way. If you are able, deposit $5,000 of your own money into Ninja brokerage and then trade it using the same strategies and methodologies that I'm teaching here with a daily risk budget, and then add it to your replication group. And then while you're going through your evaluation, you can make $165 of real money while you are making $1,000 of phony money. All right, we got stopped out there on
order filled
on the Russell. So now we'll just see if we can come up here and get that going on. Hit all targets on the on MBT.
Order filled.
I don't even know what chart to sit on here. Let's just sit on the Russell. That's rare. See if the Russell can come up and give us a fill. Okay, I want to share another screen over here. Let me just do this real quick. I'm going to go over to ChatGPT because I'm going to do this today as well with the screenshot that we'll take at the very end. So I'm going to go to ChatGPT, and yesterday I asked it to total the P&L and rows, and this is from yesterday. So I took a screenshot, all these accounts, okay, live accounts, funded accounts, and I said total this up, and it was $6,158.21 for 32 rows. Okay, so we're going to do this again right near the end of the stream in about 10 minutes. I'll take a screenshot of this over here, and we'll guess. Anyone want to guess? Look at it real quick. 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 What's the total going to be? So we'll do that in just a second, because that was the title of the stream. Avishal's asking, can I ask why you trade the Russell over the NQ? Well, first of all, it's never the NQ, maybe the MNQ. So there are 7 or 8 symbols that I trade as part of my training and education, okay, for the purposes of prop. MES, MYM, MNQ, M2K, not very often. Friends don't let friends trade the Russell. It owes me about 200 grand for my time trading the RTY before it was even called the RTY, and it traded on the ICE exchange because, yes, I'm old. MCL occasionally, MGC quite a bit right now because gold is really moving around, and MBT, which you cannot trade at all firms. Now, in the real world, I trade treasuries. That's all I trade. I trade the ZN, the ZT, the ZF, and the ZB, and also now the MTM because I'm making markets in the MTM, which is the micro 10-year ultra bond, okay? Now, why don't I trade that in front of you? And because there's 3 reasons. One, many firms have eliminated treasuries from right now, which is a bummer because of manipulation of the data feed. Number 2, there isn't really appropriate micros. So I can't sit here and teach micro. You can't eat like a bird and shit like an elephant, trade 2 MYM and then take a trade in the ZB and get wiped out because it's 32 bucks a tick, right? And 3, and probably most important, is because I actually don't trade treasuries as underlying. I trade them in the options markets, which is not something you can do in a lot of prop accounts. So there is your answer. Stick with the stock indices plus maybe a little bit of gold, a little bit of MBT if you can. Micro Bitcoin has turned out to be a phenomenal trading vehicle. Even with the crappy fills and the wide spreads, it doesn't matter. Just use a limit order. Lifetime since they launched the MBT, I'm up ridiculous amounts of money. I went back into the journal for live trading because I trade the full Bitcoin contract, which represents 5 Bitcoin, which is 50 times bigger than one. So the big contract of Bitcoin is 50 times bigger than, not 10 times, it's 50 times bigger. It might be 500 times bigger. I should probably check that because it represents 5 Bitcoin. Okay. Let me see what other questions we have here. You have a 6K. I use a 15% DRB, but I almost never get there. Almost never. And I'm generally taking the same trades that I'm taking in the prop program. So I'm keeping my risk I would suggest you start with about 300 to 400. This is not financial advice. Look both ways before crossing the street. But the question was with a $6,000 live account. I don't think most people have the skill set to be risking $600 to start, unless you have enough data that shows that 3 to 5 trading sessions out of every 22, you're making $600. If that's the case, then you can look to trade that $600. But if your average win is not average, if your biggest win for the month is around $300 to $400, you can't trade with a $600 daily risk budget. How much leverage does NinjaTrader offer? They offer day trader margins that I believe are 2x what they used to be. So don't quote me on this. I don't know. I think it's about $100 per micro and $500 to $1,000 per mini. I don't know if people know, but day trader margins are completely toxic. Don't use them. Trade. The best firm, the best account to have is with Interactive Brokers, because Interactive Brokers is the real deal when it comes to proper margin. They won't let you over leverage yourself, and you'll be trading the right way. All right, GC trades great in night session using, yeah, it has been recently because it's been opening up a little bit. So it is 50x. Okay, so I had that correct. I thought, but then for a second I thought it was maybe 500. Well, no. Then if it is 500x because no, 250x maybe 250x. I can't do math because the big contract on Bitcoin, the big futures contract is 5 Bitcoin, not 1. It represents 5 Bitcoin, so we can do the math for that. What times do you trade? So go over to my website, check out the stuff below. Everything is answered in the description. You can take a look at that after the stream. But right over here, if you go to Try TDG, it's going to bring up this, and it's 9:15 a.m. to 11 Eastern Standard Time. 9:15 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then this hour, I don't trade much at all generally. I mean, I have some trades on for entertainment purposes, but I haven't really traded the close in a long time. But it's a time of day that I've been able to commit to, so that's why I'm in here, and welcome everybody who's finding out more about this. Yes, DRB stands for Daily Risk Budget. Your daily risk budget is the most amount of money that you can lose per session to be truly producing risk-adjusted returns. There's other benefits to it too. It's going to keep your emotional capital in check. Only discipline you have to develop. This is all you have to do. You don't have to read a bunch of trading psychology books or anything like that. You just have to say, okay, I have this many lives. This how many ducats I have today. It's $300. I have $300 to work with. Everything is informed by your DRB. How much you size, whether you take a trade or not, whether you add or what, everything is informed by your DRB. And it's okay to play with house money. You can make completely different decisions if don't act like a bozo, don't be an idiot. But if you're up money, you can make different decisions. If you're winning a poker tournament, you got a lot more chips than the other competitors, the other opponents, your other players, you can make decisions and do things and be a bully. Once you learn to manage downside, upside will take care of itself. So it stands for DRB. And that's the only thing you have to do is just have the patience to never lose a lot of money. Excuse me, the discipline. I have been tracking roughly since May of 2019 when I relaunched this service, right around the time we actually were starting to test it in the fall of 2018. So let's go from 2018 to present day, right? So we're approaching the fall of 2018, almost 7 years, right? Does anyone want to take a guess in 7 years, and I have the stats, in 7 years, how many times I hit my DRB in the trade room in front of people where I call out, I say to everybody, I'm out. This is in 7 years, everybody. Seven years. What's interesting is within the last 2 weeks, one of them happened. And I did a stream that day. I was at my DRB in about 10 accounts. No, not 2. No, not 2. Not 2. It's between 7 and 50. Dude, Anthony nailed it 14 times. And one of them was recent. And that's not 14 times blowing up an account. That's 14 times hitting a DRB. There's our 10 till market on close orders. 14 times, including 3 this year. If some people didn't hit their full DRB back during the tariff tantrum starts that week, I mean, I don't know what. That was the wildest 7 to 10 days of trading I've ever seen in my entire life, including the pandemic, including 08, including all that. So I had a few structured. I had one in there, maybe 1 or 2, and then I had one just recently when I did the stream. You can go back and check the stream. I titled it something like hitting my daily risk budget. Okay, again, that's just DRBs. Now, I have also blown probably 10 to 15 funded accounts over the years. The vast majority of them were just errors, but errors are errors. Like I had forgotten that Take Profit had a daily loss limit of like, I can't remember what it was. It was 500, then it was 1,000, and I was trading the 50,000s for a while. Now I have almost all bigger accounts, so I don't have to worry about those kinds of things. All right, there we go. We're getting a little bit of move higher on the Russell. Maybe we can get a short in right near the close. See what's happening with NASDAQ. Can't really do much. And here on the S&P, I'm going to put in an order to sell the +2s up here.
Order submitted.
This 67.07 has kind of been a level, so let's see if we get a strong close here. So I said I don't teach in here all that much, but if you want to learn this strategy, just put the orders on the line. There you go. Put the order on the line. Why are you shorting such a strong market? The Russell is up $60. Well, because the last long I had would have been down here. Can't say I was long from down here, but this is a long right here. And by the way, look at this move. Look at this line-to-line move, right? Touched it perfectly all the way down to target. That's VWAP. You could take target here as well. So even with a market up almost 3% and all this strength in buying of the small caps today, you still stayed outside the bands for a total of 934 till we got back in the bands here at 10. So you spent an hour outside the bands or such, which is very, very rare. But it took that much strength to get us outside the bands over there. All right, we got about 7 more minutes. Maybe we get a fill here. So what comes up a lot is, let's say you have a single micro on, which should be able to manage, but I get short here at 24.93 half, and it just starts to rip higher, up to 2,500, or keeps going, or I'm freaked out. Just hit the close button. If that's affecting your mood, if it's affecting your daily risk budget, if it's affecting, doesn't matter. Just hit the close button. Now, I know there are many people that would prefer to have a fixed stop and target for that. So let's teach on this real quick. I talk about this all the time. What you're going to do is you're going to measure the distance from your entry, which is right here, to your first target, which is right there. Okay, that's 15 points. All right, let's see who's paying attention. If I want a 2-to-1 reward to risk, how many points above 24.93 is my stop? Remember, I want a 2-to-1. I'm looking for 15-point target. Where do I put my stop? It's pretty easy math because it's 24.93 plus a number is going to put us right at a particular level. Okay? And this is not some nonsense look left, structure-based anything. It's dynamic. It's 2 standard deviations from VWAP. So if I want a 2-to-1, how many in points is my stop? Right, 7.5. Now that would get me stopped out right at 2,500, which would just kill me. I couldn't handle that. That's where I'd probably want to add one. But what you could do is just come up with that logic. And then if it starts to really rip up there and look like it's going to hit that stop, even though it's only 7 points, just hit the close button. Don't even let it happen. Be very impatient with losing trades and as patient as you can be with winners. I know that's easier said than done, but, you know, no, it wouldn't be 25.08. If I wanted a 1-to-1 reward to risk, I would add 15 to my entry and I would be up about 25.10s, right? Probably more fun to watch the NASDAQ close here because it's actually not showing a whole lot of strength. Either is the Dow. Make sure you save or watch this one again because this will probably be the only time you'll ever see me on the M2K in the stream for the rest of history. Question about aiming for a dollar amount. No. Now, I have an article on my website called The Power of Quitting, which gives some ideas about how to make sure that you don't have days in which you give back gains and get into that because that can really affect your emotional capital. But profit goals should be done kind of on a weekly basis. What are you making over the course of a week? The only thing you need to do is abide by your daily risk budget. When you're first starting out, you will find that you hit your DRB or you have losing days that are closer to your max DRB than your winning days are exceeded, okay? That's just gonna happen. In other words, you're gonna have $100, $50, $80, $100, lost $250, $150, $200, lost $250. That's fine. You're treading water and you're gonna stay perfect. You'll have a good attitude about it. Trust me. You just have to trust me. Okay? The progress will happen once you never have a series of losing days. You know what else this type of approach will do? You are not going to have to sustain significant drawdowns. That part is bullshit too. It's just bullshit. I'm never going to eat into this by losing close to my max loss and then another losing day the next day and then another, it won't happen because I'm teaching and trading proper sizing with high probability trades. Not that they're winners. I'm not talking about an 80% win rate. That's bullshit too. I'm talking about a trade that will allow you to manage risk because you're in the market at high probability turning points, which should allow you to manage risk. Okay? All right, we got 3 more minutes. The Renko bars are not an integral part. They are part of what I used to teach, some visual price patterns. I like them because they produce these swing levels here that are not really shown on minute bars. See these swings? These are 13-period swings. Plus, I don't know if you saw how I was managing the buy stop. It's just very easy for me to manage positions using this bar. I like the way it sort of shows trend and gets rid of a lot of the nonsense. However, we have a lot of super successful traders in our group that simply just use a 3-minute or 5-minute on the stay in your lane and do quite well because they're just putting orders on the lines. So it's not an integral part. If you end up joining my group and finding out more about what we got going on here, over here on TickBlaze, which I have my TickBlaze set up to look just like NinjaTrader, these bars and the volume profile and everything you need to get started is a one-click install. You don't have to install the bars or anything. You just have to make a few configurations and you're good to go. Whereas on Ninja and a lot of other platforms, to get a modified Renko, you have to install a third-party piece of software. AJ's saying whipsaw day, but ending green. Down 130, up 30, down 9. All of that's cool, right? So it's a whipsaw, but it's whipsaw within a real, reasonable... All right, one more minute. See how we close today. How many accounts do you trade per session? Generally, so I don't get inactivity stuff, I'll trade maybe 100 different accounts. Pretty close to 100. Because, real quick, I have accounts at Apex, Blue Sky, Bullinox, Earn to Trade, Elite Trader Funding, Funded Futures Network, Interactive Brokers, of course, Ninja Trader, Legends, My Funded Futures, Tick Tick, Top Step, Take Profit Trader, Trade Day, Trade Funder, Tradeify, UProfit, so Prop Shop Trader. Oh, sorry, also some others. Ola Prime. You want to see what the setup in TradingView looks like? Sure. And welcome if you just joined the group. That's fantastic. Good to see you. I'm actually resting an order. Let me bring up to this screen up here. Market's closed now, or I mean the bell just hit on that. See how this looks on Stay in Your Lane? So someone was just asking if this was an integral part. By the way, look at how beautiful. I mean, it seems easy after the fact, but I mean, look at today, right? Look at today. Get long or cover shorts in the bid zone. Get short. I did do a trade here, 67.16s, and I covered right here at 60, whatever the hell that is. I can't quite see it. Okay, so this is Stay in Your Lane. And then if you want to look at both, we got the range trader applied over here and with the extreme turn. And what was your name? Yuhang? So send us an email. If you didn't get a welcome, you should have got a welcome email, I think, from me. And then everything you need to do to set this up like this on TradingView if you'd like. So there you go. All right, there's a 20-second delay here. Let me know if you have any additional questions. Why do I like the 1.28? It's just the way the indicator is set up in TradingView. So I use a slightly different setting there. You can play around with both of them. So that's a question about a setting of one of the bands. Is UProfit legit or a scam? I don't get into too much. First of all, the word scam. We have to stop using none of these firms that have been around for a little while. I'm starting to put together a new metric. I'm working with AI, and we're going to come up with the better. I've seen a bunch of matrix. Of course, you got the Kellyanns of the world and that guy that looks like an ox, that heavyset dude. And there are plenty of people that are creating all kinds of content, matrices and all this stuff. And I think it's way over detailed, and it doesn't teach anybody how to actually, of course, trade. But a lot of you guys are very into the nitty gritty. There have been some outright scams. Despite what a lot of people think, Profit Trade was not a scam. It was not. It was a super unfortunate business decision error in terms of how they did their credit card processing. And they ended up having close to $1 million that was completely frozen from them, that they couldn't get access because they had gotten attacked by a lot of traders that took profits, and then requested a refund. So anyway, and then there's fast track trading and stuff that were truly scams. But these firms, none of them are a scam. There's just amount of preference in terms of, and when you hear these things about payout denials and stuff, it's usually completely overblown, overstated. And there's a lot of content creators out there that just want to say they're coming to the defense of the poor trader out there who put in all their time and spent all this money and was denied. So, do I actively trade with UProfit? No. do I use a trade copier on all these 100 accounts? Generally, I usually start the morning in the trade session just trading 3 to 5 accounts, getting a feel for things. Depends on how active the market was before the open, because I'm at my computer around 4:15 in the morning. I love when my people in my group are like, "You're there from 4:15, but you can't even show up at 6:15." I'm like, "No, I'm busy, man. Making coffee." Yes, so I use a number of different trade copiers from Affordable Indicators, TradeSyncer, Thor, and soon to be beta testing the copier from TickBlaze. So there's a lot of copiers out there. M2K I'm using 11 by 2s, and on the NASDAQ now I'm using 16 by 4s. So there's a little bit different settings. This is a 16 by 4, and M2K I'm using an 11 by 2. All right, you got to go walk the dog. That's enough for today. Thanks everybody for checking this out. If you watch the entire replay, that's awesome. Everything you need is down in the description down below. Oh, I promised I'd do this, so let's do this. If you stick around, let's do it. Here we go. We're going to go over here. Can you guys take a guess? What's the guess of the total today? Okay, what's the guess? We're going to grab this right here. I have no idea. I said 5,000 on the all right. So we're going to grab this right here. I have some losing accounts today, as you can see. So, all right, 6,800. I don't know. Let's see. All right. Take the same prompt. Copy that. Go here. Go to screenshots. Put that in there. Put the prompt in. I'm using GPT-5, and I tell it to think a little bit so it doesn't just spit out crap. So we'll see. All right, let's see who gets it closer. 4,200. This is kind of fun. I have no idea. 49.10. Who was closest? All right, 49.10. 49.10. All right, everybody, it's a fun session today. And look, I'm only here for the unwavering faith. There's nothing about this that is unapproachable. Okay? There really isn't. There's nothing about that that's unapproachable. Okay? And it's important to keep the balances here, too. I want you to see these balances. Okay? I never go underwater. That's not true. I'll go underwater a little bit when I'm first starting out, maybe. Okay? Just sit there and look at that. That is achievable. How long did it take me to get the 255? It did take me almost 4 months. So maybe that's something you guys don't want to do, because I had to pay whatever they cost for 4 months. But now I have a cash machine that I'm never going to lose, that I just take from 3,000 up to 6,000 or 7,000, take out $3,000. 3,000 up to 6,000 or 7,000, take out $3,000. No payout denials, no problems, no issues. All right, that'll be it for today. Stay green, trade like a community, everybody. We will see you tomorrow for Fun Day Friday. If you're not yet a member of the trade group or taking a trial, go over to tradersdevgroup.com and you can find out how to do that. That'll also be links in the description down below. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks. Be good. Bye.